Welcome back again to the channel, A Different Opinion. Hopefully you guys have been enjoying the videos. I'm getting a few views, and things like that, and thanks for the support if you are watching the videos. Definitely leave a subscribe or a like if you do enjoy the video, and then it'll help you see the future videos and it'll help me get a bit of awareness as well. We'll jump straight into the news. A few things I heard about today. Obviously, there's the Canadian crazy Trudeau going full on psycho at the moment and saying that the emergency is not going to stop until pretty much he says it's going to stop. So pretty much what we exactly thought would happen. America's going pretty crazy with the truckers that want to obviously protest there as well in DC. And then we also have obviously Ukraine and Russia as well. So the world's fairly messed up at the moment, as it always is. And well, there's one here, a little bit of good news for my British people is Boris Johnson lifts all COVID restrictions in England as Queen tests positive. Who cares about the Queen testing positive? Let her handle it by herself. No disrespect to her for that, but just, I don't know why they got to put it in the, they're just combining two different pretty much headlines into one instead of just saying Boris Johnson lifts all COVID restrictions in England. And then later obviously in the article, you can say about the Queen testing positive, because that's not what this is about. Restrictions pose a heavy toll on our economy, our society, our mental well-being, and on the life chances of our children. See, that's the thing that a lot of people have not spoken about again, is the mental well-being. I mean, a lot of people have taken their lives, probably more than who have actually died from the virus, in my opinion. Like in countries like Australia and stuff, the rates have just gone through the roof with those lockdowns. So it's by Rachel Elbaum and Alexander Smith. London, people in England will no longer have to self-isolate if they test positive for COVID-19 starting Thursday. Prime Minister Boris Johnson said Monday, a day after it was announced the Queen out. Johnson has been facing pressure from his Conservative Party lawmakers to end restrictions, as well as public pressure and a police investigation into parties he attended at his residence. That's hilarious. That's another video, that one. While such events were banned during lockdown. So all it is, just a quick little throwdown. So when they banned that you're allowed to have people over or go to an event with more than 5 to 10 people, they hosted parties and things like that at different venues. It's not just him, it's a lot of these politicians. Yet again, rules for thee, but not for me. COVID will not suddenly disappear, the Prime Minister said. Those who would wait to total end this war before lifting the remaining regulations would be restricting the liberties of British people for a long time to come. Now suddenly liberties matter, but I'm glad it's rather mattering now than never. He was referring to experts and other government critics who worry that such a drastic lifting of restrictions could put pressure on health services and endanger vulnerable groups such as older adults and people with weak immune systems. It's hilarious because here in Australia, in Queensland, where I'm living, we're going to lift the mask mandate now, which just means you don't have to wear masks inside. But if you're still a public worker, you still have to. If you catch public transport, you still have to. If you catch a flight, you still have to. So you still got to freaking wear masks for no bloody reason at all. It's ridiculous. I've not worn a mask in a long time. I'm sick of it. We should have just been like that from the start. All of us should have said, you don't have. Whoever wants to wear them, but if you don't want to wear them, don't wear them. And that's the way I see it. If someone's going to walk past them with a mask on, I do not care. If that keeps them happy, good on them. If you don't wear one, that's good as well. Either way. And the amount of comments I see on there from old ladies, mostly old ladies, Karens is the term that is used a lot, but it's overused at the moment. But yeah, they're just saying I think it's too early for us to lift these restrictions. I think it's too early for the mask restrictions. I'll be wearing mine for the next few years. This is too early. Blah, 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 blah. And obviously Facebook prompts these comments up as well. They're the first ones you see to try and build a narrative. I'm so glad that my eyes did open up and you can actually notice these things. Because the further you go down or you click, all comments, not just top comments, whatever, you actually realize way more people are saying, hallelujah, it's about bloody time. Or what about the people that lost their jobs during COVID because they didn't get double vaxxed? Do they get their jobs back now? That's a very good question that I'd love the government to answer. Restrictions pose a heavy toll on our economy, our society, our mental well-being, on the life chances of our children, and we do not need to pay that cost any longer. Covers England, Wales, Scotland, and Northern Ireland set their own health policy. Okay. Johnson said the announcement by Buckingham Palace on Sunday that the Queen had tested positive reminded that the virus has not gone away. The palace said the Queen was experiencing mild cold-like symptoms, but expects to continue light duties at Windsor. Man, if the Queen can handle this bloody virus, wake up. Like, come on, man. Like, she's how old? Like, freaking ancient. And she's handling it. The Queen is 95 years old. 95 years old, and she's handling it, and she's still doing light duties. Bruh. British COVID cases, hospitalizations, and deaths are all falling after the sharp Omicron peak over Christmas that put further strain on the country's creaking national health safety. The Prime Minister promised to present a plan for living with COVID, but all we've got is yet more chaos and disarray. He said Johnson's plan was not enough to prepare us for new variants which may yet develop, and amounted to an approach which seems to think living with COVID means simply ignoring it. How about, no, it's not simply ignoring it, it just means look after yourself. The government is not here to be like, no, actually, you know what, we care more about your health than you do, so how about you don't do that? Or how about you have to wear a mask for your own safety? Since when, like, the government can't tell you, oh, you know what, actually, don't get bitten by that dog. You know, if you get bitten by that dog, that's a fine. Like, you know, it just makes no sense that they can tell you what to do with your own safety. Like, zero. He said Johnson's plan was not enough to prepare us for the new variants. When will it ever end? Johnson acknowledged that experts believe there will be future surges that could be worse than Omicron, but he said he would respond to those with vaccines and other treatments rather than lockdowns. As England, hallelujah, good work, Johnson. You know, you're not the greatest person, but you're making a good move here. Move from government restrictions to personal responsibility. Personal responsibility, hallelujah. I believe this is what everyone wants around the whole wide world, is for us to be able to take control of our own personal responsibility and safety and health and care. Britain is largely ahead of its neighbours in its lifting of pandemic regulations. Face coverings in England, for example, are no longer required by law as they are in much of Europe, and COVID tests are not needed to enter the country for those who are fully vaccinated. Hallelujah. I want to book a bloody trip to Scotland ASAP to go and see some of those castles and just the history of, you know, those countries. And because it's so small, like, you can drive around wherever you want within a couple of hours, and it's, yeah, it'll be great to go there. So now that this is opened up, man, if I see some cheap flights, see ya. All right, and just jumps onto this again. So here's Pfizer's CEO. Pfizer's CEO said it would not be ideal to have several boosters a year and recommends yearly vaccination. He recommended an annual COVID-19 booster shot rather than being required to roll up their sleeve repeatedly. The pharmaceutical company's chief executive, Albert Bourla, said he hoped the coronavirus jab would soon become a yearly routine. See what I mean? Like, obviously they want the yearly routine. They want to keep getting that money, even though it doesn't help with the Omicron. Jump onto this one. Moderna begins third phase of trials for RSV vaccine based on the mRNA. So this is 10 hours ago. So this is today, the 23rd of February. Moderna is starting a next phase clinical trials for its mRNA-based respiratory syncytial virus vaccine as the company moves along in its plan to explore further uses of budding technology. The company announced Tuesday that it began phase 3 trials of its vaccine, which would treat the cold-like illness. Cold-like illness, great. The Cambridge, Massachusetts-based company plans to enroll 34,000 people over the age of 60 in multiple countries in what is said to be a massive global study. This vaccine is part of a larger movement within the company and the biotechnology industry as a whole to expand use of mRNA, which has been previously written off. Moving forward, we have some wanting to stay or one even moving backwards. So here we go to Victoria. Liberals condemn Andrews. So this is in Australia, Victoria, Melbourne, where Dan Andrews, who's the Premier, he was considering making the third dose, so the booster shot, a mandate. So you have to get it type of thing. The Victoria Liberals condemn Andrews' government for reportedly considering third dose vaccine. The Andrews government has reportedly considered implementing the third dose vaccine. This was only 4 days ago. Mandate for restaurants out of fear of the rising cases in winter, despite Victoria beginning to ease restrictions. As winter draws closer, concerns over Victoria's ability to handle another COVID wave, the colder climate, had led to government officials. And I'm sick of that. Like, if you can't handle it by now, your medical system's not up to it. That is just ridiculous. I'm glad we're finally moving out of this. I'm glad Britain took that step. Boris Johnson, I applaud you, sir, for doing that. You know, a lot of other things you might not do great. I don't agree with everything, but I definitely agree with this. And, you know, you are sticking to at least your actual party's motives, shall I say. I believe the rest of the world should do it as well. And I think that they should just say, like they said, your personal responsibility. You know, if you feel like you are going to endanger someone, stay home. If you feel extra sick, stay home. Like, it's just pretty obvious. The same with the flu, same with any sickness. If you're feeling sick and you don't feel like going to work, don't go to work. It's that obvious. I think the quicker most countries can actually implement this, the better the world will get back to normal, apart from obviously Eastern Europe there. But yeah, I'm hoping Australia can implement this ASAP. So, I mean, we're allowing literally international travelers to come in if they double vax. So why can't we lift all these mandates and all these, you know, like, you have to be vaccinated to have this job. You have to be vaccinated to have this job. It's ridiculous, you know, and people are getting sick of it. Like, every person I talk to at work that I've come across, you know, no one's wearing masks anymore. You get the, you know, the fair few, and as soon as they walk in, they pretty much take it off. And everyone I've spoken to, they're all sick of these stupid mandates. It's too long now. It's been 2 years. Like, come on, man. Like, if any of the politicians, leaders, wake up to yourselves and do what's best for your people, not what's best for the pockets, not what's best for your power, but what's best for the people. Take a book out of bloody Boris Johnson, who's, you know, one of the biggest prime ministers in the world, size-wise, and also, you know, powerful. Yeah, hopefully this can actually end this for us. And because, I mean, even looking at this here, the Djokovic thing, people are still going on about that. I just wanted to bring this up because I believe that the way Australia treated Djokovic was disgusting. And for him to be victimized like that was horrible. The whole country, yet again, like, prompting up that, oh, who is this guy thinking he can, you know, come into the country unvaxxed, blah, blah, blah. Even though his exemption was fine. They accepted his exemption. But then, because they thought, oh no, he's going to trigger too many anti-vaxxers, we're just going to send him home. That is not a real reason to send someone home. It's ridiculous. He's not anti-vax. He literally even said I'm not anti-vax. I just don't want to get the vaccine. And because he just had the virus not that long ago. And it's everyone's own choice. I don't understand how a country could be like, wait a minute, you have the exemption, you pass our test for an exemption, but we think that you're gonna pretty much make an anti-vax thing here, so you can go home. So shame on Australia, shame on Tennis Australia, absolutely horrible, in my opinion. And, like, I mean, he probably would have won the tournament again, and it's sad to see, but it is what it is. Hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I'll make another one soon, and hopefully it'll be interesting, and hopefully you guys like it. If you do like it, like I said, just leave a rumble, leave a like, and subscribe if you want to see my future videos. Thanks for watching.